starting off with affiliate marketing, I think the biggest takeaway is affiliate marketing is a guaranteed 3 to 4 times return on ad spend, and it's infinitely scalable. And as you scale it, you actually get more sales per unit of time and effort you put in. So that being said, the reason why I'm saying it's a 3 to 4 times return is because you can guarantee what commission you pay out. So what percentage you actually pay towards acquisition cost. So that being said, you've got a system and a machine that can literally always guarantee you a 3 or 4 ROAS. And if it can't deliver sales, then you don't have to pay any ad spend. And why this is so powerful is you're not only just leveraging your media and your content and your accounts, but you're also leveraging other people's labor to generate you sales. And oftentimes also other people's lists, other people's data, but it really comes down to you're leveraging other people's labor in exchange for a percentage or commission. And because this is the case, if you think about traditional business, almost all traditional business, if you've got a really good offer and you have a very good conversion rate, if you're a traditional business and you've got a team of, let's say, 3 to 5 people that work on commission basis for you to generate sales for your business, and that system works really well for you, then you can infinitely scale how many people you can hire on a commission basis. And the risk to you and your cash flow is pretty much zero, because if they do not perform, then you don't pay them. So what affiliate marketing truly is online version of like commission-based salespeople. But because it's online, you have a lot less constraints with scale than actually physically hiring like salespeople. So if you think about it, if you're hiring commission-based salespeople, they normally just work from one location. In one market, and normally there's like a lot of in-person training you have to do. So therefore you only can hire local commission-based salespeople, or you have to go fly to a different market and train them there. Where with online, you don't have those issues. Furthermore, they can also sell to the entire world. So they don't really have to sell to a specific region, specific market, specific customer in that region. So therefore, their opportunity is a lot bigger. And because they've got a lot bigger opportunity, it's oftentimes a lot easier to convince them to do affiliate marketing versus a lot of these other traditional sales methods. So that's the first takeaway, is just really understanding the capability of affiliate marketing and the opportunity. And as I said, if you had 10,000 people right now all promoting your product in exchange for commission, where would your brand truly be versus where it is now? Or where would you truly be with ecom versus where you are now? And so if you really think about that, it's like, hey, if I had 10,000 people promoting my product, then, and I also just pay them when I actually get sales, like where would my company be right now and where would I be? And that's the beauty of affiliate marketing, is this is so scalable. And as long as you have a very good system to actually get affiliates, content for those affiliates to use and then promote your products, and a good funnel / conversion rate to actually convert people through your funnel, you can really, really scale this massively. And because most of the work you do with affiliate marketing is really based around the systems you built, therefore every unit of time you normally put in, there is an exponential output for that unit of time in terms of results, because all you're really caring about affiliate marketing is you improving your systems. And so thus, when your systems improve to a certain level, you're not only going to make profit, but you're going to make exponentially more profit every time you improve that system. If that's like how you recruiting and hiring the affiliates, the content you're giving them, the landing page you're giving them, the whole system you really much build around that affiliate. So I would definitely say do not underestimate this. And if you think about a lot of traditional businesses, and you ask them how did they actually get a lot of their business, they would normally tell you, oh, like we get a lot of referrals. If you think about a lot of traditional B2B businesses, they get a lot of business from like accountants, lawyers, different industry people that refer them. So I know a guy in SEO, and he's one of the biggest SEO agencies in the world. Like extremely successful, rich guy. He's between here and Dubai. And 99% of all of his business is referral based. And he doesn't even have a website. And he charges some clients like $50,000 a month for SEO. Because all that really happens is the CMO of a top 500 company just refers them to a CMO of another top 500 company. So, a lot of traditional businesses is actually built with affiliate marketing, which is like, referrals based sales. And it is one of the things where a lot of the normal business constraints doesn't stop you in terms of normally when you run business, the more you advertise, the more there's always like a diminishing return just because of the advertising cost, of course, goes up. So yeah, it's a very powerful opportunity, and I think a lot of people in ecom, they really focus on doing their paid ads, doing Google, doing TikTok. And they kind of see affiliate marketing as like, hey, we just have like a link in bio with like a couple of influencers to, promote products, etc. But that is really not the case. And a lot of brands has actually been built just off affiliate marketing. So they haven't even been built off, traditional ads. So one of the other principles I have in ecom is you get paid in proportion to, what percentage you are in terms of outlying in the space of e-com. So if you do what everybody else does in e-commerce, you will always get the same results. And the people that truly make a lot of money, they always try and reinvent the wheel somehow. And they always have like an interesting angle of how they market, the ads they use, the landing pages they use, the way they actually do sales. So you have to think about being very creative in the way you approach sales and marketing, because all of the profit in e-commerce really lies in like becoming very, very good at not only offer creation, but also how you actually position your offer, how you do that sales and marketing. And all the people I truly see succeed in e-com, they're very good at like thinking outside the box of sales. So just one more thing that I want to touch on just before going into the affiliate things is, to give you another idea, one of my good friends, he is doing crazy numbers with ecom, but he is a businessman first and not an ecom guy first. So what that means is he'll always come up with a first principle problem to solve a issue in his business, and not necessarily the ecom hat and coming from the ecom space. So a lot of people, you put yourself in the box of like, hey, I do e-commerce, so therefore I need to look at ads, content, or my landing page, and therefore I need to fix one of these things for my business to work. Where you should really ask the question is like, hey, I have this business, there's an entire earth to sell to, there's millions of different ways to approach sales. What would be the most beneficial way for me? And pretty much extrapolating on that mindset. So one of my good friends who, of course, has crazy money in ecom, he went to Bali, and one of the big hotel group owners and stuff approached him there and pretty much asked him about like running ads for the hotel. And, they really want to get a lot more sales in, and they are super keen to, do some ads and stuff for them and really get more rooms booked essentially. And because he's a first principles thinker first, the way he approached it is he said to them like, hey, I don't even think ads is a good idea. So what he did is he went to like 3 or 4 of the taxi like businesses there that has the taxi ranks, the cabs. And he pretty much just approached all of them and said, hey, we do like a referral based system with you guys where if you pick up people up from the airport, and they haven't like decided where they're staying, or they haven't had like really proper plans for what they want to do and where they want to stay, you actually refer them to our hotel, and you really like sell our hotel, and then of course just drop them off at our hotel from the airport. And that system they built, and that massively increased sales for them. So that's like a really interesting way to approach a problem, where you just used affiliates, which is like taxi drivers and the taxi business owners, and gave them a referral for all the business that they refer and recommend to that hotel, and they massively increase sales that way. So that's kind of a way that I like to go about any type of business, is think of like what is a creative solution and what is the most leverage solution for a problem. So in saying that, let's go straight into kind of the four different layers of affiliate marketing just for ecom. And I would say, firstly, do not do this unless you are at like at least 30 to 50 grand a month in sales, just because the biggest issue is if you get affiliates promoting your products but you don't have a landing page that converts, then you simply in the current situation where a lot of affiliates are driving traffic to your website and not actually making sales. And so all of the effort you're doing to recruit these affiliates is going to kind of be in vain. Now, one caveat to that, and that is pretty much this first method of affiliate marketing, which is kind of like what everybody does, is if you launch a brand, then you can use affiliate marketing to become your content machine. So what that really means is you can simply gift products to affiliates or potential affiliates in exchange for content, and then of course having like that affiliate link in their bio. But in saying that, your main expectation should not be them getting you sales. It should just be like you getting free content and potential sales. So the main use case for that is, firstly, you just getting like your UGC content. And if you think about UGC content services, they're sitting right now at like, you're going to pay $80 to $120 a video minimum for one ad. Where with just free gifting, you can, let's say your cost of goods is $15, $20 plus $5 shipping. So free gifting, you're getting free content, or you're getting paid content for $25 an ad versus $120. So it's just a much cheaper way to get UGC content, and that's kind of like the main reason why you want to do affiliate marketing in the start. Now, affiliate link in bio. Simply, hey, we approach a lot of people, we give them links that they can use that's unique to them. Those links, then they put in normally their Instagram bio, for example, or their TikTok bio. They get sales of those links, those sales are tracked, and then get paid a commission. So here, of course, is a couple of different affiliate tools, and this makes everything super simple. So a lot of these tools, they just auto manage the payouts, they keep track of everything for everybody. And this is a very easy way to get sales, because simply you get people to refer your product. And oftentimes when you do this with like free gifting, you can really get the UGC content, plus you can get some promotions to your product. And the best affiliates to find for like UGC content is truly going to be people that aspire to be influencers. They don't have the followers yet, but they have the skill set. So that means they've got 3,000 to 10,000 followers. From there, they can then actually get and make you really good content, but you don't have to pay that premium of their like influence and their following. Steven, you got a question?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Sorry, I didn't want to cut in when you're on a roll.
All good.
Just where I'm at, I've got my sample. I'm starting to build the website, so I don't have a landing page or anything like that yet. But obviously, I'm content hungry. Would this be that strategy to start, getting into some of these websites, starting to talk to people and start trying to, drum up, I guess, a relationship so that I can get that UGC content, because that's the thing I need at the moment, obviously, to start being prepared to launch is I don't have enough content. Is this that kind of good strategy to start considering and going down that path?
So if you have stock, then you can just do free gifting in exchange for content. If you just have your samples,
Yep.
I would just suggest hitting up
Yep.
content creators, going out there and filming with them and be like, hey, this is the type of ads I want. I'll pay 50 or $100 and film it that way.
Yep.
So it just depends on if you've got stock or not. But yeah, in the start, if you just have your samples, just go and film with people. And then when you actually do have stock, then you can ship out and get content in exchange for, just a free gift, pretty much. So I hope that makes sense.
And are these apps the best way to make that connection with these content creators, or would you just suggest Instagram or other ways? Or?
Yeah, so I would normally just firstly just message people on Instagram. So anyone that's kind of doing social media, just message them, because that's what they kind of want to do as a work. So they're always open to more work. So I would definitely message them and then be like, hey, I'll pay you, if you don't have like free gifts or whatever, just pay them $100, $200 to make your content. If you only have samples, just like try and find local ones where you can reach out. Especially in Australia, almost every city has a ton of influencers, so you can just drive to the local influencer. Hey, I want to film this product in this location. I'll pay you X amount and I'll come and like direct it and like film it with you. And kind of just get started that way. The one thing you'd want to stay away from is like any type of UGC agency / modeling agency, all of those things, just because of the price you're going to pay versus the returns. So if you're at scale and you very time poor, then yes, like approach like a UGC agency that specializes in this. But I think the method, it's always like this in business.
Stalking people on Instagram now. So.
Yeah, just message a ton on Instagram. But yeah, any method that requires you to do more work is normally one that's cheaper. So if you approach like a UGC agency, you're going to get exactly what you want, but you're probably going to pay like, $100 plus a video they make for you. So yeah, I hope that gives you some clarity.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Yeah, no worries. So just a quick things to touch with this affiliate link in bio is don't just simply give them a affiliate link and give them some like discount, but actually try and create a bit of a community and a system around it. So adding loyalty tiers. So the more sales they get, the more commission they get. Giving them some like free rewards, maybe like an influencer pack that they also get. A good way one of my friends scaled is he pretty much gave them 50% off to buy like 5 pieces of clothing on his website. And then he still makes a profit with that, but they get clothing very cheap. And then of course he gets UGC content back from that as well. So there's plenty of ways to kind of engineer the system to make it a lot better. What I would say is don't just give them the link. Try and create a bit of a community. Try and create them a bit of like buy-in and a bit of investment from their end to really commit to this. And again, you have a business, you have a brand, so you want to treat it as such and also create like a branded experience for your affiliates. So by just giving them free gifts, like a welcome pack, maybe even like a one-on-one onboarding call, some training, some brand outlines, a brand document with like, this is what we stand for, this is the type of content that works with us, this is the type of customer we have, and even giving them a bit of a brand document and like an onboarding call, that goes also a long way for them actually to take action. Because if you just keep it in the DMs, you're just going to end up with like people not too committed to the process. Where if you have a professional call with them, you have a welcome pack and a brand document and onboarding, then they actually feel like they're working with you and they have a real connection with you. So that in itself is a lot more powerful than just doing like the link. So even with this step, there is a few sub steps to improve the system to really make sure that you get to that first initial couple of affiliates making you sales. Nicole, you got a question?
Yeah, I've just got a question. I sell art, I sell artwork, so big artworks, all different sizes. I'm certainly not at 30 grand a month yet, and I'm aspiring to. I've built out this off the back of the talk that you did when we were in person, and I've got the brand document, I've got a Google Drive full of art that they can then go on and promote. My question to you is, I've got the document on a Canva doc which I've published, but I was then going to have them they click on that link, and then once they read it, if they want to be an affiliate with us, then they actually fill out a form, and then that form's kind of sitting on my website. And then from that, I will then organize a Zoom call and do all those things that you're suggesting, because I think that's really important. Do you think that's a good idea to have the form, to have them fill out who they are, why they want to do it? I don't want to make it hard for them, but at the same time, I do want to get a certain bit of information, because if the person is an influencer, I might throw them a free piece of art as well. Like, it will depend on, so I haven't launched it yet, but I've done all the background work, but I'm just curious if that step is necessary.
Yeah, look, I think in the start the form is going to be a bit hard because you just have to ask yourself from their perspective what is in it for them to fill in this form. So if like it looks like an amazing offer and the form is great and all of that, then yes. But again,
Yeah.
I would say this question, the best way to answer it is because it requires such little work, and because it doesn't really require more than an hour to 2 hours of implementation. I would just test it with like not having the form, because it's so fast to do. So a lot of questions. If you guys have, there's also another cool thing with ecom. A lot of questions. If you guys struggling with like direction of like, should I do this or not do this? Should I implement this on my side or not implement this on my side? If it requires almost zero time to implement these things, then you can just split test things really fast. Because again, what is one of the benefits of like a website, ecom, Shopify with like these pages that's like pre-built with themes, is you can do things so fast that you should pretty much have the mindset of like, hey, I'm just gonna run like 20 tests a week, 20 experiments in my business, because end of the day, experiments the most wins. And because you don't have like, if you don't have a lot of consistent sales, then you can just focus more on like testing and experimenting, because that's pretty much the first step. Is like you're testing products, you're testing landing pages, testing creatives. So even things you want to change on your site, if you're not sure if you want to change them or not, just change them, test them out, and revert them if that test doesn't work. But the skill set in itself of experimenting is very important for e-commerce, because if you don't really have that skill set, then even if something is working, you don't kind of know what the next step would be and how to improve things. So I would definitely recommend you to, if you have some ideas of like, hey, I want to do this thing, this thing, this thing, and it's easy to and fast to do, just execute that. So sweet. So
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
no
Thanks
worries.
so much.
So yeah, I'm just going to move on. So this is pretty much the first layer. And this is about what 95% of brands at the moment do, 90% of brands. And the only other thing that I would say with this is the free gifting side to get UGC content creators, it never stops. Like, this system will always keep going as you scale, because number one constraint with ecom, when you get to like 100 grand a month, or the two constraints I normally see is conversion rate and creative output. So this system actually solves the creative output aspect of scaling as well. So it's always important to have the system in place, because when you actually scale, you're gonna have to create creative somehow. So you're gonna either have to pay a service and $150 per video, or you're gonna have to do manual reach out, but you're always gonna have to have more creative. So this is a great way to get creative for cheap and also recruit affiliates. So it's like a two birds, one stone effect. Now, moving on, the next real step in this system is when you combine the link in bio with media. And that's pretty much where you get these affiliates to post on TikTok, socials, normally it's going to be TikTok and Instagram Shorts. Instagram Reels, and then have your link in bio of your product. And so this is much more scalable, where they're going to reach, of course, an audience outside of their own audience. Because, you know, with TikTok, normally you get, the views you get is like 90% non-followers. So this system in itself can scale you to 8 figures. And it is very much a easy concept to understand, but I think the hard part is the execution. So simply what we need for the system to work is, firstly, we need content that gets a lot of views organically. So before implementing this system for affiliates, you need to implement an organic channel for your own business. So therefore, you need to implement, a ton of videos that you actually shoot, a ton of content that gets a lot of views. So once you actually have a ton of this content and you're getting really good views in your link in bio and your TikTok channel itself, you're getting, let's say, 100, 200, 300,000 views a month. Once you've actually implemented that and you're getting views and you've tested that your content converts organically or gets those views organically, then you start approaching affiliates with this strategy. So this in itself is where 90% of brands even fail, is they never get to the stage of building out TikTok as a organic channel. So what that means is you never get to the stage where you can get as much sales from your TikTok, or at least 30, 40, 50 grand a month in sales from your own TikTok account, like versus your paid media. And the biggest issue for that is just because the skill set of you making TikToks isn't that good. So TikToks, of course, is a different skill set versus creating just pure creative. Now, TikToks normally do convert well as creatives. If they do get good organic views, they normally convert pretty well as creative as well. But really getting and cracking the TikTok channel as an organic format is going to be the first step in success with the system. So firstly, we want to make sure we have our own organic TikTok doing really good, getting us sales, getting really good views. And once we have that, we'll probably have the second stage already solved. That second stage is having a lot of content for our affiliates to use for their TikToks. So once you've already solved TikTok for yourself, you know that like your content and your product sells on TikTok. Second step is making sure you have enough content for a lot of affiliates to actually then use your content. Then you're going to approach your affiliates and, ideally you want a minimum of like 20 to 30 accounts, all posting your content 2-3 times a day. And so what this does is, firstly, you're just going to get views and sales. Secondly, you're going to have a brand uplift. And this is really what, I would say, real branding is. So 95% of e-com branding is like slapping a logo on the website and the product packaging. And that's kind of like what people teach as branding. But this is what I think true branding is where if you've got 30 accounts posting TikToks of you every day, let's say 3 TikToks a day, you're going to just get so much organic views and organic reach. And you're going to truly have like an awareness layer where people have seen you online before. So even if they don't buy, what tends to happen is they see one TikTok of you, like nothing comes from that. It might get 100,000 views, big deal. But if they see your TikToks consistently in their feed, what tends to happen over time, they're going to get they're actually going to become someone that knows of your brand. And so when they start seeing one TikTok of you a day in their feed, a month from now, all of your TikToks are going to start converting. So what tends to happen with this system is in the start, firstly, it's hard to get views with these affiliates because they need to be consistent, they need to warm up their accounts, they need to post. But once they've actually done that and they start getting crazy views, then what tends to happen is when you get to a couple of months in, people already know of your brand. And so it's kind of like a tide of, a rising tide. It floats all of the boats. So once you've got the system in place, you're getting crazy views, it's just a matter of time before everybody starts converting more and more, because everybody now knows your brand. So you're now not needing to educate the customer about your product. You slowly start just trying to close them with the videos. So you'll see there's like a really crazy thing that happens, and that is like your revenue per view just gradually goes up and up the more affiliates you get doing the system, and the more posts you do and the more views you get. And so when you actually do the system, you just need to know that it will take time, but the reward is massive. So the only thing I would say is like it requires scale to do this. So you need 20 to 30 accounts posting daily, and there's some brands, for example, Tabs Chocolate, which is like a sexual health chocolate brand. They couldn't like advertise normally with Facebook, so they just pretty much deployed the system, and they an 8-figure brand just doing the system. And so if you have more capital, what you can do with the system is you simply just invest and hire these editors yourself, and not pay them an affiliate commission, but just pay them a salary to actually edit and make you TikToks every day. And so every editor can do like 3 accounts. So you have 10 editors working full time, just posting TikToks all day. And this is a kind of like a way to get it kickstarted, because you get that organic layer kickstarted. And then when you prove that your core team is now profitable, then of course it's much easier for hiring affiliates with the system as well. So one of the biggest pioneers in the space would definitely be Andrew Tate. So this is what he did to become in 3 months from no one to almost everybody knows his name. So he just has 3,000 affiliates using the system, just posting his content every day with like a link in bio to his platform. And that created him a SaaS company doing net 18-20 million a month just by using the system. So the reason why it worked really well is because firstly he had the content layer sorted. So he was vlogging and making a bunch of content for 2-3 years. So the affiliates had a lot of content to clip, and then of course his content was again unique enough and getting views on TikTok already. And so when he approached affiliates, it was very easy for him to scale. So yeah, that's $1 billion company that he built off just the back of just the system. So this is why I'm saying this is so powerful, but it comes down to really executing. And a lot of people, 99% of people even watching this video, if I post this on YouTube and stuff, they'll never get to the stage because it just requires a shit ton of executing. So you need to understand that even though the system in itself is very easy to understand, it's the execution that's very hard. So we've ourselves used the system. We've done over I think we're now 1.4 billion views just using the system in the Arab world. So we know this works, and we've gone through the pain of trying to engineer the system and really understand what it takes for the system to work. But it is super powerful because again, you just leveraging the first step with the second step, which is media, so an organic reach. So you're just extrapolating your affiliates to pretty much earn a lot more versus just posting to their regular followers. But again, it takes quite a lot of effort and skills to actually get this going. The other thing that I would also say is a subset of this, of course, is TikTok Shop. Now, TikTok Shop is in different states, in different regions. So in America, you can get access to TikTok Shop, where if your brand is registered on TikTok Shop, It just makes it a lot easier for affiliates to pretty much have like a native way to market your products. So if you can get your product into TikTok Shop in the US, then there is a shit ton of affiliates that all they do is post products on TikTok Shop in TikTok and get the affiliate sales that way. So this is a massive way to really scale out really fast. And as I said before, TikTok Shop is coming to Australia, so it's already in beta. So if you have the content ready and you've already trialed the system for your brand, when TikTok Shop launches, you're just going to take off and make a lot more money. So this system in itself can make you a couple of million a year. And you just need to be prepared that when the TikTok Shop wave hits Australia, your brand is in there. Your brand has one, the content, and two, the proven like conversion rates as well. So that when you do approach TikTok, get that in the shop, you have a differentiation compared to the normal brand, where the normal brand, like they don't have that layer of content, they don't have the affiliate training, they don't have all of these extra steps for affiliates. So if you really focus on doing this system, you're going to get to the stage when TikTok Shop launches that all the affiliates is just jumping on your product, just because you've got the content layer, the affiliate training layer. There's just a lot more support from you versus a traditional brand doing the system. So that's a massive opportunity, and I think a lot of people are really missing out on this opportunity. So now here's the next step, which is even more saucy. So pretty much every one of these steps that I'm showing you guys is just more leverage. So it just means you apply more leverage to the same system. And because you apply more leverage to the same system, you pretty much get more and more efficient. And for every dollar you spend, you get more and more return. So this is one of the craziest ways to run ads. And that's pretty much just running ads to recruit affiliates. And so the idea behind this is we've got labor, which is our affiliates. We then got media, which is our short form distribution. And now we have capital. So all 3 points of leverage in affiliates. So how do we deploy capital with affiliates? So firstly, and this is like really powerful, is simply just running ads to recruit affiliates. So let's do the math. Let's say for your business sake, we keep it super conservative. For every affiliate you get, an affiliate on average gets you 1 sale a month. So let's say 12 sales a year. Let's say you've got an AOV of $100. So one affiliate gets you around $1,200 in sales a year. So if you can run ads to then recruit that affiliate for, let's say, on around average, let's say $50 an affiliate, what's the ROAS on that? So now you're spending $50 to make $1,200 a year. So you've got a 24 times return on ad spend by simply running ads to recruiting affiliates versus trying to sell your products. So this is so powerful because you're pretty much applying leverage with your affiliates in terms of ads. Now, to give you some realistic views of like what we did with our system that has gotten us 1.5 billion views. So if you just divide the 1.2 billion back then views by the amount of affiliates we've had, which I believe in this example was around 1,500 affiliates. So each affiliate got on us average around 70,000 views per month times 12 months. And then of course we were recruiting these affiliates in India. So we were paying around 30 cents per lead. 1 in 12 leads converts into affiliate, so $3.60 an affiliate. So if we assume like a $25 CPM, then one affiliate gets us around $20,000 in free ad spend a year. If you wanted to use a $2 CPM, then that's around $2,000 in ad spend. So this is a crazy system, and it's the leverage is crazy on this. So the main thing is, if you can figure out how to get these affiliates working, then recruiting these affiliates, $50 an affiliate should be easy to hit in terms of like a cost per recruitment over an affiliate. And that can get you a crazy return, because once you just run ads like, hey, we're this brand, we have this opportunity where you can earn money online, we have a full training system, we get you even qualified, so you have like a full qualification and training process where you actually train affiliates up as well. So you fully recruit them, getting them to post, managing those affiliates in that system and creating a community behind that. Then you can get crazy returns on ad spend using this leverage system versus a traditional, just traditional ads to just run to your landing page. So this is a insane leverage system. And a few more examples of scale or recruiting affiliates will definitely, of course, be your marketplaces like your ClickBank, etc. Doing giveaways to recruiting them as well could be great. Posting on like Facebook groups. There's a ton of different ways to recruit these affiliates. But the reason why I use the ad spend one is just because it just puts into perspective the opportunity and the type of like returns and the type of numbers you can get by just using ad spend. And the other thing I would also say with affiliate recruitment is, don't be afraid. Like, if the organic system is actually working really well, do not be afraid to actually also pay some really good editors and put them on like a salary to actually edit and post content for you. So there's a ton of different ways to do the system, but the reason why I use the ad example is just the fact that it's such a crazy return on ad spend, and it just shows you when you combine different lever points, which is labor, media, and capital, you can get a crazy system going. Now, moving on to the next step, and this is kind of like a few bonus examples of using affiliates. So firstly is brand collabs. So if you sell, for example, a baby product, there's a ton of D2C baby brands out there that has already created a list of 100,000 customers of your ideal customer. So they've spent millions of dollars on Facebook ads to build this massive customer list out for their brand. So why go back to Zuckerberg and pay him again for the exact same customers? This brand has your ideal customers, so all you have to do is leverage them to then get you sales. So that's pretty much treating the brand as an affiliate. So this is where you approach brands. You're like, hey, we'd love for you to promote our product. In exchange, we'll give you a great kickback or whatever sales you bring in for us. If you have a product in the same niche but not competing against each other, it's pretty much a win-win for you and them. And really the core key thing to do this is just how you reach out to these brands, how you do meetings with them, how you present yourself, how persuasive you are as a person to actually get in front of these different businesses. And the physical version of this is pretty much like, this is where you've got your retailers selling your products, your Bunnings or your Coles or your Woolworths, selling your actual products in retail. And this is pretty much just the online version of that, where you're like, hey, we'll approach some brands already doing business with our ideal customer. We do a win-win partnership and we get them to promote and sell our products. And normally this would be in like an email format. So what that means is, they just send an email out to their list and of course get sales that way. Now, a really interesting take on this, and this is something that is a bit of like a black hat or gray hat like option, and that is where you share pixel data between different businesses as well. So how this works is pretty much they give you access to their retargeting audience, and then you run ads to their like audience of like retargeting. So this is kind of like a quick hack to also get really crazy return on ad spend, because you're just pretty much targeting your ideal customer. The other thing, of course, is doing like content collabs, where you tag each other in content, co-branding products, which is a bit down the line of extrapolating the system as well. So yeah, this is of course a really powerful system, and this just requires, again, a bunch of elbow grease and work to get this system going. So, if you, I think Alex Ramosi has a really good example of one of these videos where a business owner is getting like 30% of her business from referrals from other businesses. And she just sent out 20 emails to get 30% of her business, and she didn't even think about it, and she just stopped. Where, if you're sending out 20 or 30 emails a day, after a while, you're going to get very, very good returns on, the amount of time you actually put into this. So in saying this, brand collabs is really powerful. It's a massive lever, and the lever is really that there's businesses doing business with your customer already. So them referring you instantly gets you a lot of money quick. So yeah, I would definitely approach brands, message, and try and get meetings with the brand owners. This is where you pretty much, this is also like retail as well. And a lot of e-com business owners just forget the simple point because they're so obsessed. And again, if you're coming from the hat of like, I'm going to do ads, content, or landing pages to make money, you'll never think about this, where you're like, hey, I just want to get sales. Who already is selling to my ideal customer? What can I do to get them selling my product? That's pretty much the questions you ask. And again, this doesn't take a lot of time. Simply, create an outreach system. I'm going to message 10, 20 brands in the same niche. I'm going to set up meetings. And then, of course, you have to just be persuasive and come up with a really good deal that is a win-win. Now, moving on, this is just kind of extrapolating the point I made in this slide, which is recruiting affiliates. And that's simply, there is affiliate marketplaces. And these affiliate marketplaces have people that literally focus on becoming affiliates. So what that means is there's people that are already doing affiliate marketing full time. And there's marketplaces where you can literally go and approach them and recruit them. And they're already trained up. They already have the skill sets to promote and sell your products. And kind of extrapolation, and just one more point I want to touch on the affiliate recruitment side, is what's really powerful is some affiliates are such good affiliate marketers that they actually run ads as well. And so imagine like you had 1,000 people running their own ads selling your product. And this is pretty much a lot of affiliate marketplaces, especially like digital products. They'll get like, let's say, a 50% commission of the sale of like, let's say, a $2,000 course. And then they just run the ads to get sales to then sell that course. But yeah, there's of course a ton of these affiliate marketplaces for digital products, for physical products, and you can simply just go on Google or go on ChatGPT to find these products, etc. So it's not a very hard thing to do, but again, you just have to put in the work to just build a nice system to really deploy this. So that's kind of like my little presentation on affiliate marketing. And I think this is really all encompassing of like every different thing you can do in the affiliate space. And I think the main thing you need to understand is affiliate marketing is a guaranteed 3 ROAS. So if you think about Facebook, you literally can spend $100 to $1,000. You might not even make one sale. Where with this, your risk is pretty much the time and effort you put into the system. And that's the only real risk to you as a business owner. So it is one, high leverage, high opportunity, low risk. The only real thing is like putting in the time and effort to building the system out. And the beauty of the system is no matter what product you have, even if your product isn't successful right now, having this system in place is going to help you no matter what product you're selling. So even if your current product is not working and you might pivot and switch to a new business, new product, new store, this system will be everlasting and will always help you scale your business no matter what product you're selling. So of course, I would always say do the most leverage action first whenever you're doing any type of business. But this system in itself is something that you're going to have to build out anyway at some point if you're doing e-commerce full-time for the rest of your life. So it could be good to just start on that system now. Think about maybe the frameworks. Maybe just have it in the back of your mind of like, hey, I'm going to continue using this system or continue improving this system. And this is kind of like just a bit of a rollout of like how to approach this to then really get to the stage of like mass scaling with affiliate marketing. So that's kind of my presentation on it for you guys. If you have any questions, I think we've got like 2 minutes left. This call is like 1 hour today. I don't know why that is. But yeah, we'd love to answer any questions that you guys do have.
No, thanks. I just want to say thanks. I'm just chomping at the bit to get it out there now, really, which I'm going to launch it this week, and I'm going to go on the Facebook groups and do all the things that you've said, and link it back to the form and see how it goes. And I can pivot and change that if it's not working. So I feel, I mean, my average dollar is about $1,500. So I'm offering 10%. So someone can make $150 every time there's an art sale. So I feel like the carrot I'm dangling is quite big because of my average dollar, but not everyone's going to be into art. So I've just got to find the niche.
Yeah, easy. And also what I'll do is this, I've like Loom recorded this meeting as well. So I'll just share that with you guys because I hear that it's like a bit laggy today. So I'll also share the Loom video, and I believe the Zoom is also recording. So I'm sure the recorded version won't be as laggy. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. I think the number one takeaway is do not underestimate what affiliates can do for your business. If you think about the 4 main levers of business, each of these levers is pretty much a 10x. And that is like labor, capital, media, and code. So every $1 billion company normally has 3 of these. So if you break down every $1 billion company, they use labor, capital, code, and media, or 3 of them. So a lot of times when you just simply deploy what more of these lever points is when you get your 10x income in your business or your 10x growth in your business. So it's really just thinking about like how to create more leverage. And that's all really business is. And this is like a great way to do this in e-com, just because the risk to you guys is simply just the time you invest into this, and there's no ad risk. So even smaller people in e-com that want to get started, they don't have any money with e-commerce, I normally just advise them to just post TikToks in the start, which is pretty much a subset of the system, where the risk to you is just like the time it takes to post these TikToks, really. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and yeah, of course, I'll see you all next week.